Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly, the show where we take a look at some of the really cool and interesting mods to come out during the past week for Fallout 4. And this week we've got some really cool stuff, some new armors to wear, some new weapons to use, and some new gameplay elements to spice up the combat in Fallout 4. So let's go ahead and get started with the first mod, and that is going to be Desert Gunners by DaltonTheWarlock. If you're familiar at all with Default the Fixer's Gunner outfit pack, what is in my opinion the best outfit set for the gunners, this is going to take that pack and retexture it all to have a nice desert scheme, and I like this a lot. The default gunner outfit pack is just a nice gunner green, and there is even a winter version of that mod already in case you're using, say, a winter landscape. But now we even have a desert set, so if you're like me and you just switch back over to using Desperados again for your landscape mod, it's really cool to see the gunners wearing desert appropriate outfits using some nice light camos. All of the combat armor has been dulled into a nice neutral brownish gray color, and it contrasts with the under armor very well. This includes every single armor in the pack, by the way, so every single little detail is retextured and it looks super cool. If you pair this with the mod that adds all of the outfits to the gunners and their leveled lists, it makes the gunners have a really cool look for their faction, especially when you're using this with a nice desert landscape overhaul. Or it even works pretty well with the vanilla landscape, as the vanilla landscape is a nice sandy brown color. There's not a lot of greenery out in the Commonwealth. I absolutely love the gunner outfit pack, so seeing more skins coming out for this and adding even more cool stuff to the gunners is absolutely awesome. I think this is a really cool addition if you're looking for a way to spice up the gunner outfit pack if you're already using it, especially if you're playing in a desert landscape. Really cool mod, a nice way to touch up the old pack and add some new flair to your enemies. For the next mod, we have a Sprint Reload by FX0X01, and this is going to be a very simple but very effective mod. It's going to allow you to sprint and reload at the same time. Now, the footage may be a bit hard to tell that it's working because there's not a lot of camera jiggle while you're reloading, but trust me, you are able to sprint and reload at the same time. You'll maintain that nice sprinting speed so you can get out of dodge or get behind cover while you reload your weapon. And this is just a really useful thing. This is one of those gameplay elements that's in a lot of modern shooters, but we just didn't have in Fallout 4. Now, some people may prefer not to have sprint reload, as maybe you want to be able to reload cancel, but if you're into that kind of thing and you like to be able to reload while moving very quickly, this is definitely a great mod to pick up. There's not a lot more to say about it. It does exactly what it says in the title. It allows you to sprint and reload at the same time, and that's it. No extra bells and whistles. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's really nice. Definitely check this one out if that's something you're interested in. Up next, we have the 6th Messenger's Missile Launcher Ammos by the 6th Messenger. This is going to add the feature of new ammo types to the missile launcher that is part of the 6th Messenger's much larger vanilla weapon overhaul, but now you have it in a nice little standalone package. Essentially now there are different ammo types that you can craft over at the chemistry station for the missile launcher, as well as the ammo switcher hotkey. With this hotkey, you just throw it into your aid items and then go ahead and set it to whatever hotkey you'd like. And whenever you press this, it will open up a menu that will allow you to switch out between different ammo types. These ammo types include new types of missiles like cryo missiles, plasma missiles, pulse missiles, anti-tank missiles, napalm missiles, and even mini nuke missiles, and so much more. Don't get me wrong, the vanilla missile launcher was really cool. It did its job exceptionally well, but having this increased variety is awesome. Being able to throw out tons and tons of different types of damage is really cool, and I gotta say, I like it a lot. I especially like some of the more devastating ammo types like the napalm missiles or the mini nuke missiles. Definitely adds a nicer late game version of the missile launcher, because in the vanilla game, with the fact that there's no receiver upgrades, the missile launcher kind of fell flat as you moved into late game territory, and it wasn't worth lugging around a big heavy missile launcher with the same boring old ammo type, and it did almost nothing to the bullet sponges in the late game of Fallout 4. But these new ammo types really help you take out big enemies, just throwing death claws around and absolutely destroying anything in your path. I gotta say, it really helps to have these new ammo types, and having the ability to switch them on the fly at the press of a button is also really cool. Rather than needing to set up different types of missile launchers with each ammo type at the crafting station, you can actually just press a button and then you load in the new ammo type, and that's really awesome. As usual, great job by the Sixth Messenger. This is a must-have if you're a heavy weapons enthusiast or you like the explosives, especially if you want to pair this with something like the Grenade expansion pack. I think they fit really, really well together. Really helps to flesh out the explosives in the vanilla game, as without mods, they're pretty boring. Up next, we have another expansion to the vanilla weapons, and this is the Aftermarket Laser Kit by OpheliaNeoma. This is the same author who gave us that LSW kit not too long ago. This is going to add some new parts to the laser rifle to help spice it up and add some more variety, similar to what I'm doing with my current attachment pack project, except this one is heavily focused on just the laser rifle. And you're going to get some pretty cool stuff in this mod. You do have some more military style attachments, and you even have some handmade stuff as well, and some just straight up goofy attachments to go with it all. I gotta say, these are all pretty cool, and nothing feels too overpowered, and they add some nice new aesthetics to the weapon as well. Since this only contains a handful of attachments, let's go ahead and go over them briefly in the weapons workbench, as I think they are all pretty cool and I want to make sure that they all get shown in today's video. So there are no new receivers added with this. These are all the exact same as vanilla, but there are some cool new barrels, including the snub nose barrel, which I like a lot. This looks super, super cool. We have the automatic short barrel, which is going to have the exact same look as the short barrel, but it shoots in automatic without needing the rotating barrels. We have the AEP barrel, which is going to add a huge little metal bit, same as we have on the long barrel in the vanilla game, except it's much, much larger in this. We have the blaster mod, which is a pretty crazy looking nif bash of the automatic barrel, except this one does not spin. This is as is, and it is intended to be used with the pistol grip. We've got the newly added marksman barrel, which is an extended version of the long barrel meant for sniping. We also have some newly added grips and stocks with this mod. We have the makeshift rifle grip, which I think looks pretty cool. The full makeshift stock, which is going to make use of even more laser musket stocks. We have the carbine stock, which uses some plasma rifle parts. And then we also have the conventional grip, and I have to say I think this looks pretty cool for a pistol grip for the laser rifle. And then we have the heavy stock, which is a nice combination of the recoil compensating and marksman stock to make an even better recoil compensating stock. Then we do actually have one new sight, and that is going to be the prototype scope, which is going to be a nice little homage to the classic laser rifle scopes from the past games. And then for muzzles, we do have a couple things as well, like the junk bayonet, which I think looks really, really cool. Makes parts of the metal armor, which is pretty interesting. We also have, as we move down the list, the enhanced barrel, which is going to increase your critical damage multiplier. And then we also have the prism mod, which adds a nice little crystal prism to the end of this thing. Gives you reduced fire rate, but better damage, and has some nice bashing damage as well, as I'm assuming you're going to poke them with the pointy bit of this thing. Altogether, this makes for some really cool new attachments for the laser rifle, and definitely adds some cool new flair to it. Up next, we have an entirely new weapon mod, and that is the Vanguard Double Barrel by Cadavver. Now, this was featured yesterday in its own mod breakdown, so if you want every single detail, you can go ahead and check that out, but I wanted to make sure it made it to Mods Weekly as well, just in case anybody missed that video. The Vanguard Double Barrel is a really, really cool looking shotgun, and I gotta say, I think it fits in Fallout very, very well. I've already been saying it, I think the Vanguard stuff may not have a place in Call of Duty, but I think it fits perfectly in Fallout, and the Vanguard Double Barrel is just the same. There's some really cool attachments in here that definitely fit that Fallout aesthetic, and if you want, you can even download this mod as a replacer, so you can replace the vanilla double barrel with this one. Pair it with the Battlefield 1 double barrel shotgun animations on the Nexus, and you've got yourself a really, really nice new double barrel. Alternatively, if you don't want it as a replacer, you can leave it default and have it craftable at the chemistry station, or you can download the leveled list patch to make it start spawning out in the world after level 10. However you decide to configure it, as this weapon is highly customizable, this is a great new shotgun, and I think it has a perfect home here in Fallout. I love this thing, it's really, really cool. The only issues that it has is a minor little scale issue, but unless you're a third-person player, that won't really affect you. Altogether, this makes for a really cool new double-barrel shotgun, and who doesn't love shotguns? And finally, that brings us to our last mod, and that is the SMLE #1 Mark III by a Ninja 66578. This is going to add a nice new Lee Enfield bolt-action rifle into the game that is pretty rare, so you are going to have to hunt it down if you want to get your hands on it. This one is not added to the leveled list. Instead, you'll have to go and find not only the default version of this weapon, but the unique legendary version as well. This weapon does have a decent amount of attachments over at the weapons workbench, though it's supposed to have much more, but sadly the project was canned, and so the author went ahead and released what they currently had working in the mod, and there is still a good bit of stuff here. This does use the animations from the Lee Enfield by As, so you can really use either one of those to get a new Lee Enfield into your game. It's really up to preference. If you want a bunch more in the way of customization, then the one by As is definitely for you, but if you want one that's a lot simpler and has a much smaller file size, then this one is really nice as well, and it definitely comes with everything you need to make a bolt-action rifle work. This is another one that I do have a full breakdown of, so if you want to know the locations of the regular weapon and the unique as well, as they are pretty in-depth, you can go ahead and check that out. I'll have it linked down in the description below. Altogether, nice little functional Lee Enfield, though there are a lot of Lee Enfields out on the Nexus right now, so you can really choose and take your pick for which one is perfect for your load order. But with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you want to try out any of these mods, they will all be linked down in the description below, along with their Xbox links if there are any available. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more content just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video, and a very special thank you to Captain Chaos, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Jackie Noid, Timmy76, Cushy, Moonlit Gamer, Feed, and YouthRC for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you want to support the channel on Patreon, it will be linked down in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!